Shit.
Okay.
They did a good job.
How so?
The screams for one.
Okay.
Wow. It had this feel of like that kind of does seem like all the depictions of hell. Like you would just hear this kind of screaming all over the place. Like the people who did that screaming should have won a fucking Oscar or something because it was fucking spot on. Then there's also I couldn't tell if it was a rape scene, like a woman being raped by demons and whatnot, because it's like it's passing real quickly, right?
Okay.
And I'm not really interested in like pausing and going back and being like,
wait, let's watch that again in slow motion.
Yeah. What I caught, just from what I caught, I was like, I think I'm just gonna keep on moving on.
That's a thing.
But I'm gonna make note of the fact that what I just saw was I would think, a fairly accurate depiction of hell, or people who had just opened a door to hell.
Yeah.
And then there's also a dude who's getting like fisted through the throat, and it looks like they grabbed something on the inside and then pulled it back out.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
It was pretty intense, and that was just the first time you really see that stuff went on. It's just like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a twisted movie, and like I don't know how many Oscars it won or whatnot, but it was a seriously underrated movie.
Well, what was it called? Event Horizon?
Yeah. The first time in movies where they started using the whole if you want to go through space really quickly, but you don't want to break Einstein's laws, well, what you do is you take this piece of paper here, and then you got this side over here, and you fold it in half, and you take a pen and you poke it through, and there you go. I've explained science to you, fucking moron.
You ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Like rolling the full intro on that?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, I'm just gonna let the music run through.
Yep. That's what I got. It's mixing over.
Wait, you can hear it?
No, mine.
Oh, I was gonna say. Respecto miso technological authority?
Yes.
Nobody understands. Doesn't matter. Welcome back to another exciting episode of WTF ATTA. What the fuck are they talking about? Podcast. This is episode 22. I know that because I went through the other day and finally pulled all the episodes off, named them and all that shit, put it up on iTunes, put it in a box, got it done. And if you're interested to find those other episodes, you can go to the website, wtfatta.blogspot.com, to find more about the cast, crew, little special playing cards there. Click on it, turn it over. It's tap and touch ready. There's no special info on the back of the cards. They're legit playing cards. Turn it over. You can collect them and trade them. No, you can't do that. I'm lying. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, Instagram under the handle WTFATTA, and you can find us on Facebook, the WTFATTA podcast.
I'm JD.
Joining me tonight.
What?
I was going to say, and joining me tonight is JD.
I'm JD the Media Jack. You can follow me all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and on Mixer. Please feel free to subscribe to myself and my buddy Eli from WTFATTA. It is episode 423 of the Flipside radio show, a podcast that at one point in time was on mainstream media, but then the right people listened at the wrong time, and now we're a podcast. So, so here we are.
Fuck.
That's a proper
Here we are.
It's a proper summarization of what happened.
Yeah, I think that's pretty apt.
So what happened last week?
Last week?
Yes. You were out at your folks' place.
Right. That's why I couldn't find episode 22. I was like, I remember recording something. Fuck.
It was a shit show.
Yeah. Yeah. Satellite internet. It's fucking. I want to call up the satellite place because I just got a letter in the mail from them saying like, ooh, you can now have even faster satellite internet. I'm thinking, you assholes still haven't fucking told people about the goddamn ping. It's all well and good that you can get 5 and 10 megabit per second,
Yeah.
but that 700 millisecond ping is a bastard.
Yeah. It definitely did affect a lot of things.
It really does. Like, you cannot do anything live.
Yeah.
It's fucking fine if you want to watch Netflix and YouTube,
But
which is what they fucking tout.
Yeah, but that there's buffering in between there, right? When you're doing something live, it's instantaneous, so that two-way road doesn't exactly flow. It's more like a single lane bridge that accommodates for two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, how's your folks?
They are doing much better. My mom, she had that gastric bypass surgery or whatever.
Yeah.
The hell was that?
The hell's what?
That.
Oh, I got the windows open.
Oh. Sounds like you got yourself a Transformer woodpecker.
No, just some jackass on a motorcycle.
Oh, my mind always goes back to South Park.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, this is not that type of show. Anyway, so your mother's doing better.
My mother is doing better. She has lost, I'd say probably about 100 pounds, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't recall the last time I ever saw her so thin.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, problem is she's having some heart problems. So they're up there in age though. So I mean, it's only a matter of time. My grandpa died at like 73, I want to say.
That's rough.
So,
I mean, that's a good long life, but we could live longer.
we could live longer. To be honest, I think my dad will. I think my dad will outlive my mom. In particular because my grandma, my dad's mom, she's 92 and she's still she's coherent, she's going strong. Like, here's a testament to her fucking old German nature.
Yeah.
She fell over in the kitchen and sprained her hip, and she forgot that she had a fucking medical alert on. So
you mean that thing that dangles from her neck?
Yeah. She army crawled from the kitchen to the living room, reached up and managed to grab the phone off the end table and just drop it onto the floor there, and then she was able to dial 911 and yeah.
And
She's
the whole
fucking-
time, like, this fucking necklace is in my way.
It happened to her another time. She she slid out of her recliner chair, couldn't get up. Right, she doesn't have the strength anymore. So she's calling fucking everyone, right?
Yeah.
And no one's able to get there. And I guess someone else had tried to get a hold of her but couldn't, and so they called the cops. And holy shit, I went blurry for a second there.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, the focus keeps changing.
Stupid autofocus.
There you go.
There we go. Anyways, fucking cops are there.
Yeah.
Firefighters are there. An ambulance is there. And so there's probably about 30, 40 people sitting around, cops and firefighters sitting around, trying to figure out how the fuck to get into the house because she had the doors locked and all the windows shut and locked. So my aunt finally shows up about an hour and a half later as they're just getting ready to break in one of the windows, and thank God she had a key.
Oh, Jesus.
But I'm thinking, like, why the fuck don't the cops have some sort of training in lockpicking? I mean, shit, it's not that hard. I mean, it takes time, but it's not hard. It's a lot of raking and pressure.
This is true. and trial and error. But
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there are some that you can't really do that with. I mean, a deadbolt, fuck, you
yeah,
just snap your tools before that thing ever fucking gives way.
exactly, exactly. Whatever. Well, I mean, you know what? That's it's one of the things that you just have to. It comes with experience, and you learn as you go, right? You learn from your mistakes, and clearly those officers and those emergency medical personnel's need to learn from their mistakes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Well, failure is the best teacher.
Yes. On that note, what is this thing about the Golden State Killer?
Oh, okay. So that's a little blurb. Shit, sorry, I had to bring up the other one. There we go. Serial killer. All right, so cops hunting the Golden State Killer got the wrong man by using a free genealogy site and ordered innocent, sickly 73-year-old to give DNA to clear himself. Then his daughter helped nail real killer.
What? We're not talking like 23andMe, are we?
23andMe. What the fuck is that?
That's like the DNA genealogy site where you can find out how much of a Viking you are. You give your saliva over to them, and
It might all be interconnected, but this is ysearch.org.
okay. Anyway,
Yeah, so investigators hunting the Golden State Killer used DNA information from a genealogy website to identify a sickly 73-year-old as the prime suspect, and then a judge ordered him to undergo a test to prove that he was not the serial murderer and rapist. Cops used a genetic profile based on DNA from crime scenes and compared it to 189,000 others uploaded by family tree enthusiasts on free site ysearch.org to track down the home care resident, who also shared a rare genetic marker with the killer. Armed with a court order, they took a DNA sample from the man while he was lying in bed, seriously ill. Astonishingly, his daughter was not informed about the test, but after she found out, used her online family tree to help cops find people who also had similar DNA to the killer so they could be eliminated from the investigation. The daughter spoke on condition of anonymity because she did not want the family's name publicly linked to the case.
blah blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
This is fucking
Long
ridiculous.
story short,
Hmm.
the idea of it, them being able to just go to these free sites and then get access to all these this DNA that people were giving up just to find more about their ancestry. But I mean, as far as I understand it, part of the agreement is that the DNA sample that you give to these places is then their property.
Yes, it is. Because generally, when you especially the pay websites like 23andMe and Ancestry.com, I believe, where you give them a swab of your DNA, your saliva, or whatever, and you send it off. You actually send a release form saying that this is no longer my property. Do as you please, because they have to have that permission to do that type of research, right?
Yeah.
I just went to ysearch.org. First of all, fucking slowest website it's ever has had to load a single page since like 2003. Much has happened since DNA testing first became available commercially through Family Tree DNA in February 2000. Many thousands of people have tested to find family connections as well as family origins. Since then, other labs have entered this market, and the number of tested individuals is growing as the use of DNA is becoming more and more accepted as an important tool of family research, enhancing traditional genealogy research methods. This is not a place where you send your DNA. This is a place where you look specifically for DNA that matches yours from the information that you already have.
Yeah, and see, my parents went through this, and they suggested that I go through it, and I said no because I don't want to give it to them.
Standing right there.
But that being said, they've also got the samples from my parents, which means they have a much better chance of nailing down my genetic structure, because a portion of it will come from my dad and a portion will come from my mom.
Yes,
So,
of course. You would certainly
So
hope that unless it was the mailman.
well, you never know. I found out that I was in vitro.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, yeah. I've always joked about it being a turkey baster.
Lonely Thursday night, nothing else to do. Let's see what this does.
Yeah. I'm sure this will work. The problem is just not getting in there far enough. Whoop.
You're dipping your toe into the shallow end of the pool here. So did they? Go ahead.
The DNA results actually brought a few interesting things to light.
What's that?
So on my mom's side, it turns out that we knew about the French, we knew about the Irish.
Great.
We did not know about the East Asian side, and we knew about the First Nations. We've actually determined it now to be Mohawk.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, and that's on my mom's side. On my dad's side, which is where the interesting part came from.
Okay.
We were quite certain that that side of the family is German through and through 100%.
All right.
Well, turns out my dad is 26% sub-Saharan African.
What?
He's a quarter black. Yeah.
I guess that
I got to
explains
thinking
his
about it.
thick ass.
And I got to thinking about it though, right? Because no one else in the family really thought about like the fact that holy shit, all of my uncles and aunts on his side they're all a quarter black.
Right.
But I got to thinking about it, and I think that my grandpa was actually a bastard child. Okay, so my grandpa had something like 17 brothers and sisters.
What?
This is back in like the late 1800s.
Were they like the blueprint for the CFL? They were just trying to start an entire team. Holy shit.
Yeah, so well, no, they had a lot of kids.
Yes.
Well, actually, no. Sorry. I think his oldest brother was born in like it would have been just after World War One. No, that's right. Just after World War One was when they started really going for it.
Okay.
Anyways, so my great grandpa used to treat my grandpa like shit. Almost killed him. Made him work 3 days straight and then drive a tractor. And my grandpa passed out and fell off the tractor and almost got run over by the wheels. And these aren't like nice rubber wheels from nowadays.
No, they're tractor wheels. Yeah.
They were fucking metal with fucking spikes on them and shit. Like, so anyways, having that story already in my mind, it got me thinking that maybe my great grandpa knew that my great grandma slept with a black guy, but because grandpa came out white, he couldn't say that's not my kid.
Different times.
He also would not have wanted to admit that
grandma went behind the shed
with a black man.
Yeah.
No less. Now, I don't know if he was racist, but considering the times.
Yeah, considering the times. We're talking like the 18th century, right? 17th, 18th, 19th, whatever. Long time ago.
Long time ago. But still at a time when racism was very prevalent.
It was a fact of life back then. To be one who was accepting of different races was actually like extremely forward thinking.
Indeed.
Now it's gone the completely other direction where anyone who is racist is completely backwards thinking. Anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting how times change. I mean, yeah. Actually, on the topic of how times change, artificial intelligence is looking to break into the Vatican secret archives.
Okay.
Mhm. All right. So, do you know roughly how much of the library of the Vatican's has been released to the public?
Nope.
Something like 300 pages, and they have like I think it was 56 miles worth of just documents and shit.
Of what?
Just like there was Queen of the Scots was sending a request for aid to Pope Pius something like the 47th.
Really?
And yeah, and he which didn't come in time. She was slaughtered by her own people. So
They didn't have Instagram back then.
could you imagine how much could have gotten done?
Yeah, a lot more.
Right.
Menard
Right.
said, "Nice. Wish I could get my hands on these books and documents." And hello, Bitter Old Goons Gaming. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
that's
So,
a lot
but
of,
anyways,
that's a lot of
yeah,
information sitting there.
yeah. And part of the problem is that some of these documents, well, most of these documents are really old. But with the help of artificial intelligence and OCR software, optical character recognition,
Yeah.
they're able to digitize all of the information, and as a result, it's going to be made public. So I imagine they're going to keep the Vatican's special secret archives information to themselves, but it's interesting what would come to light because they may have information on, say, Oak Island in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia or New Brunswick? The Treasure Island of Canada.
Isn't that New Brunswick?
It might be New
I
Brunswick.
could definitely be wrong, but yeah.
I think it's near like the Bay of Fundy,
Yes.
which I'm pretty sure is New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Which also has, I think, it's the highest displacement between high tide and low tide. I think it's something like I want to say 15 meters, but I'm also wanting to say 150 meters. Like it's some ridiculous number between high tide and low tide. Like if you're caught in this little like narrow canyon,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
The grandeur is obvious, located within the Vatican walls, next door to the apostolic library, and just north of the Sistine Chapel is the VSA houses 53 linear miles of shelving dating back to more than 12 centuries. It includes gems like the Papal Bull that excommunicated Martin Luther and the pleas from help from Mary, Queen of Scots, sent to Pope Sixtus. The Pope Sixtus the Fifth before her execution. He didn't get it in time. Oh wow. Okay, so but in handwritten text, the context of letters, the software needs to recognize the letters in order to segment them. It's a catch-22. They have to be able to read the documents, but also have to be able to translate it with certain sensitive information not being openly released as it came out.
That's gonna be tricky.
No shit. Must keep secret about choir boys.
Okay, now here's a question. If, let's say, the AI itself releases said information, it decides it's not going to block it. Would that mean that the AI has developed a moral compass?
No, it means the AI has no censor whatsoever.
But what if you asked its reasoning behind why it did it, and it said because the people deserve to know the truth? It's AI, right? It's artificial intelligence.
Okay, sure, fine. But I'm more of the thought process of like the AI would release any and all information just because of the fact that it was overworked and god damn it needs a coffee break.
There's an interesting question too. Would an AI need a coffee break?
Yeah, yes it would. They need the batteries need to charge, plug it into the wall, sit down, watch some Netflix, watch iRobot and just complain because it's not accurate.
Wait. Would it be Netflix if it was an AI? Wouldn't it be Bioflix?
Stop. Can we talk? We'll talk about plugging in and unplugging and whatnot. True or false? Coffee raises blood pressure.
Yes, absolutely. If I don't have coffee in the morning, my blood pressure is through the fucking roof.
So, I've been doing, unfortunately, a lot of research in this lately. Coffee does temporarily raise blood pressure. The reasons are unknown, or they're not confirmed. They believe it's some sort of chemical imbalance that causes the arteries or a hormone to make the arteries expand, retract instead, or not expand at all. So I have high blood pressure, and the doctor doesn't know why, and neither do I, quite frankly. And this is the funny part. So, what causes high blood pressure?
Life.
Okay, what causes high blood pressure? Smoking.
Check.
Okay. Being overweight or obese.
Oh,
You're fucking skinnier than me.
isn't there that under classification? There's obese, anorexic.
Anorexic? You're not anorexic. You do eat. Lack
This
of physical.
is true.
Lack of physical activity.
Check.
Halo
Actually,
doesn't
no.
count. What?
I am walking up and downstairs all fucking day. Every time someone has a problem, I'm either walking upstairs or downstairs. Upstairs or downstairs. Here, I got to go upstairs to my office, downstairs to take a piss, upstairs to my office, downstairs to go get a drink, back upstairs to my office. So many stairs.
Just piss out the
My
window
ass
like
looks
everyone
like a
else.
fucking model.
Just piss out the window like everyone else.
Unfortunately, that window's the street-facing window.
Just piss out the window like everyone else. Okay, too much salt in the diet.
Okay.
Okay, too much alcohol consumption. More likely 1 to 2 drinks per day.
Holy shit. Who the
Stress.
fuck is drinking that much?
Stress.
Stress.
Yes. Older
Stress will
age.
do it.
I'm just going to wrap through the rest of this. Stress, older age, genetics, family history of high blood pressure, chronic kidney disease, thyroid disorder, and sleep apnea. Okay?
Sleep apnea. The one you can't diagnose yourself.
Apparently I have high blood pressure. Okay? But I don't qualify, like I don't have an issue with any of these other than the 3 things that I cannot control. And that is genetics, which I'm looking back at my family history says that, or my family history has no background of high blood pressure. So why would that be a genetic issue? Chronic kidney disease, which I do not have. And the only other answer could be a thyroid disorder. Perhaps my thyroid's acting up. But
Take some iodine.
I'm not just going to start taking shit.
No. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This actually comes from radiation safety. If you're going to be working in an area where there's certain radioactive iodine isotopes, you want to take an iodine pill so that you basically fill your thyroid completely to the brim, overflowing with non-radioactive iodine, so that it won't absorb any of the radioactive iodine. So you can actually overfill your thyroid with iodine. It's. I mean, you don't want to go too much, but you can get a dose of it, and it just, if your thyroid doesn't absorb all of that amount, because this is probably the test they'll give you. They'll say, take this tablet and then piss in this cup, and then we'll know, is your body taking it in at the rate it's supposed to.
I did that today.
Oh, there you go.
I did a lot today. My God. I was at the hospital doing 2 hours worth of tests and samples and shit like that. Not shit, but stuff like that. So it's a little concerning. Now, coffee does, like I said, coffee does raise your blood pressure, but it doesn't keep it up. It does make it raise temporarily, but it should level out. Time for more pseudoscience with Eli. That's from Bitter Old Goons Gaming. Hey, he's knowledgeable. He's much smarter than me. That's why I talk to him. What?
It's not pseudoscience though. That's actually in the textbook. You're supposed to take iodine for those periods.
Yeah. Anyway, I did a whole range of tests, including X-rays today. I was cranky. Ooh, because I had to fast, so that meant that I woke up in the morning. I did not have breakfast, which is like the second thing I do every single morning, other than like putting on my damn pants. It was just a general comment, laugh out loud from Bitter Old Goons Gaming. So no harm, no foul. Anyway, so 2 hours worth of testing, and I should get an answer back. But so a regular blood pressure, your upper and lower should be around 120-ish and an 80, right?
Yep. Well, okay. Depending on your age, it varies by a point or two.
Yes. When I took my blood pressure before I went to the doctor's today, I was 157 over 113.
Holy fuck. Wow. Yeah, how the fuck are you not in a hospital?
I don't fucking get it. I don't get it.
You have strong arteries and veins.
I fucking hope so. Jesus.
Well, they're fucking handling some fucking high-powered pressure.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've written it down. I started taking notes. Let me go grab the sheet. I'll be right back.
Yeah, the reason I tell my mom don't ever try using cannabis is because that shit lowers heart blood pressure, and she's already got low blood pressure. So if you've got low blood pressure, don't.
You talking about me?
Don't. No. I was just saying that if you have low blood pressure, cannabis lowers it already. So if you have low blood pressure, don't use cannabis. Or consult a physician first, definitely.
But I can't smoke weed. I drive big truck.
Yeah, and therein lies part of the problem for you, and which is really unfortunate because, well, actually, no. You know what? No, there's already enough drowsy truck drivers on the road.
Okay, so my heart rate is not a condition. My heart rate jumps anywhere from 66 to 75.
Okay, so you have an irregular heartbeat.
What do you mean irregular?
Oh, wait, sorry, no. Wait, is irregular? One of them is your heart rate changes, and the other one is it's not like the dun dun. It's more like dun dun dun.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, Barrel Goons Gaming says his resting heart rate is at 77. So, like, he probably has a little bit of a high idle. But my heart rate it has, like, even this morning I checked my heart, like I checked everything this morning, and my heart rate when I woke up and just went straight to I got myself a blood pressure machine here at home, and my heart rate at its highest 75 and at its lowest was 60. So my heart rate is not an issue. But last night, the highest my blood pressure was, and this is the scary part. Now, I don't know how accurate this fucking machine is because it like to jump around. But the highest my blood pressure was, according to this machine, was 192 over 133.
Did you see any veins popping out? Yeah. Like, holy shit.
Do I look like I have veins popping? So
you should.
So, mine is 100 just sitting here drinking a beer. Yeah, okay. So, here's the thing, okay? Two things to notice here. One, I am borrowing someone else's blood pressure machine, so who knows what type of damage or how long this thing has been accurate or active. And two, the doctor did warn me that I have larger than normal size arms and I work out a lot, so I should get a larger cuff to throw onto my arm. Okay? But still, saying that, it is pretty much confirmed that I have high blood pressure. But I just don't know why. Okay? Now, last night, when these numbers were coming up, that was the highest. Okay? That was the highest, and we did it again, and it literally went from 192, 133 to 170 130. So that was within 2 minutes. Okay?
Wow.
So, so big difference, right? So again, this is most likely just a cheap estimation. You right?
I had to crack my nose.
I have problems with my neck, and you got a problem with your fucking nose.
Oh man, I can sit here. Sorry, quick story. I can crack, I think, literally every bone in my body. Carry on.
Gross.
Yep.
You must be wonderful to snuggle with. Anyway.
I cannot sneak.
Why does it sound like someone's breaking kindling?
Sounds like fucking someone's sneaking up behind you in the dark in a bush, leaves rustling and crackling.
Yeah, carrying the bush. Anyway, so I have high blood pressure, and okay, so all day yesterday, looking at the symptoms for high blood pressure, spontaneous sweating, didn't have it. Faintness, I had it, but I also was like very tired and had indigestion, and indigestion usually causes me to be just kind of weak and feel gross and shit like that. Fainting, never fainted, like didn't even come close to it, didn't have dizzy spells, nothing. What else was it? Like it was just like going through this entire list, and it's like I'm looking at one side going like I'm doing everything right to not have high blood pressure, yet I have high blood pressure. And then all the symptoms that are showing up to say that you possibly have high blood pressure are not showing up. But at the same time, there is the underlining factor that high blood pressure hypertension could essentially lead to what's it called? Heart disease, right? Which is known as the silent killer because it's if unchecked and undetected, you're gone, right? I sweat a lot, but that's because my body is super hot, and in the winter I hardly ever sweat. Okay, so Dark Avenger has a high idle and a high running temperature. So anyway, that was my day today, was running through those tests. Now it's going to take about 3 to 4 days to get those test results back, and then we'll see what happens there. For all we know, I just have to take a regular strength aspirin every day, or perhaps I have to take some sort of medication. But the fact that the things to do to prevent having hypertension and high blood pressure are all the things I'm fucking do as is means that I really don't have to change anything if that's the result. And I can just continue to live my life. So I don't know. It is weird.
Well, here's hoping. That's all you gotta do is just take an Advil and whoop. Something simple.
No. Big difference. Aspirin and Advil.
Right.
Yes.
just making sure you know.
Yeah. See, that's why I love you. You're always looking out. You are my funky bunky.
That's right. Just don't always trust my judgment.
Doctor says my body heat. I radiate a bit more than most, but I was 100% healthy. Yeah, I'm willing to believe that his bitter old goons gamey has something correct there in saying that is because he's fucking Italian. He just irradiates everything. Machismo, heat, Italianness, I guess. Awesomeness, so I suppose.
Is it? Wait, isn't
what?
it? I thought machismo was like Spanish or Latin or Mexican. I don't know what the difference is between them, machismo? Honestly.
You know what? I think you're right. I think machismo is Spanish.
But you know what? I would not be surprised to find out that it's also Italian. That means the same damn thing.
Ooh. Korea.
Yes.
We're looking at the beginning of what essentially could be the end of South and North Korea.
I've been thinking about that, and I don't
Potential.
know if they'd really. Do you think they'd really unify? Do you think either of them really wants to give up the power that they have in that regard? I mean, they might unify as like a group and be represented as Korea, but still be their own entity within the country.
I don't think Kim Jong Un is going to have a chance when it comes down to it. Okay, because the president of until I'm corrected, the president of South Korea, whose last name is Moon, was elected into office. Okay, he was elected into that power, whereas Kim Jong Un was handed that power. We're talking about a democracy versus a monarchy.
And that's why I'm thinking I don't think Kim's going to be giving that up.
I don't think he's going to have a choice. I think
You think democracy, like, well, I mean, if the people did find out about it
they
and
will.
had the opportunity to vote,
They will. They will. They're already okay. So let's break down what's happened here. Okay, so for what?
do you think there's a little chubby Korean kid with a lollipop standing in front of a fucking fake fruit snack store?
Keep waving until the car moves, asshole. I get my $5 now. That The Interview is a great movie.
It really was.
Okay, so Kim Jong Il passed on the crown, power, all that shit to his son Kim Jong Un, and through that, holy shit, someone's fucking smoking weed, and I can feel it, just smell it, just wafting into my place. Wow.
I can feel it. It just hit me in the face like a ton of 50 Lebanese blonde hash.
It fucking reeks. Anyway, so Kim Jong Un is now in power because Kim Jong Il, we're pretty sure, died, right? He died.
Yeah.
He's not immortal. He did not get 18 hole-in-ones and didn't stop playing golf.
He has no butthole.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he never poops.
So, Kim Jong Un has now. Okay, the interesting news story that came out just before all of this started to come to light, and the crossing of the borders and the conversation was the fact that a news story came out saying that the testing facility for their nuclear weapons had collapsed.
Shit.
Which was underneath a fucking mountain. So,
Not getting that back.
Yeah, and they were done, right? So that makes me believe that was like they were throwing everything at nuclear arms. Everything. What end were they throwing everything into nuclear arms? We don't know. Yeah, well, you set off nukes on the ground, it blows up the ground. Exactly. Could it be just to try to bolster themselves, to give themselves a better bargaining position when they finally went public? Maybe. Could it be that they were trying to do something and flex and make them seem like they were a bigger power than they actually were? Maybe. But we do know that their nuclear facility just collapsed. And now, all of a sudden, there's talks between South Korea and North Korea and photo ops and walking through South Korea and dismantling of the propaganda and the information loudspeakers that are blasting information back and forth across the borders. And there's talking about how the neutral zone will actually be a peace zone. And over the next couple of years, they're going to try to reconnect separated families that are up in the 130,000 range. And also there's talk that Kim Jong-un is going to talk with Donald Trump. which is like this is gonna work against the whole peace thing, but okay, fine.
Okay, slight. Do you know much about the history of Korea, by chance?
No.
Okay, so in a nutshell, they've more or less been like the small piece of chicken between two rocks of a sandwich. Japan and China were always fighting each other, and the landing point and departure point was Korea. It was always done through Korea. So Korea was either occupied by Chinese forces or was occupied by Japanese forces, which actually is kind of why Korean people kind of they look both Chinese and Japanese. They have similar features from both.
Okay.
So they've been more or less their independence has never really existed until the more recent history.
Okay.
So I can kind of understand why they have all this posturing in that, right? Because they finally want to be recognized as hey, we're older now, guys. We belong now too.
Yeah, we want to be a part of the cool kids. Pyongyang was
pretty
where
much,
the Winter Olympics were held, was it not?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you are absolutely correct, and like I didn't know why I didn't notice it before, but yeah, they are literally sandwiched in between China and Japan, with South Korea unable to really travel road-wise to China without going through North Korea first. And I'm looking on Google Maps because Google has everything.
Yep.
And I can take the
I'm
little
on
man.
it.
What?
I saw the Google car go past the other day.
So I can take the Google Man and drop him down in anywhere in South Korea, and it gives me a street view. And then if I go back to the Google Maps and then I go to North Korea, nope.
There's no Google car getting in there just yet.
In fact,
Got a better chance of getting in.
I can go to the border of China and North Korea, and I can drop the little yellow man on the map in Jian, and I can see the border. I can see the river that splits the two countries, and I can see essentially what is North Korea, but I cannot see North Korea from within North Korea. So, I firmly believe that this is, it's, don't call me a racist. The Google little character is fucking yellow.
I think he might be referring to me and my comment about the fact that Korean people have Chinese and Japanese features.
No, he was talking about is that little yellow man. Laugh out loud. Don't be racist.
Oh my god, how did I not fucking get that?
Anyway, so I firmly believe that this is actually Kim Jong-un accepting the fact that technology is way too far advanced for the lifestyle that his father had created. Now, his father was able to get away with everything because no one was able to look into North Korea. We didn't have the proper technology or anything close to the technology that we have today. Whereas nowadays, when Kim Jong-un killed his like brother-in-law or something like that with an AA gun, point blank, like that fucking made headline news, and I'm pretty sure everyone in North Korea went, "Oh fuck, we can't do this anymore because the world finds out real quick." And try as they might, they've been trying for years. They've been trying absolutely hard for years to get their privacy back, but the world has opened up because of the internet and the World Wide Web and also social media and travel has become a heck of a lot easier and much more affordable and much more cost effective and a heck of a lot more accessible. So because the world has become much more open, I would like to believe, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving the lovely cake lover a benefit of the doubt that he now understands that the world is no longer a private place, and his country has been under the looking glass for way too long now, and everything is starting to show. Not to mention, there are organizations out there who are trying their damnedest to inform the people of North Korea that the way that they're living is not the way the rest of the world is living.
I think the problem is that they decided, or sorry, the Kim family decided to go a little bit too far, and instead of going Wakanda, they went Wakanada.
Wakanada? Explain yourself.
It's like Mario, but with Wario. So instead of Canada, which is like, hey, everyone come in, it's Wakanada, and it's everyone stay the fuck out. That is some terrible cheese.
Yes, very, very terrible. So, I believe that it won't be fast, but it will be a joint Korea at some point in time.
I could see it only if the Kim families were, or at least North Korea was allowed to retain its. Well, okay, no, sorry, I take it back. If the people are freed and they go with full democracy, then yes, it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, because you already, like, there already are countries out there that have both democracy and the word escapes me now.
Dictatorship?
No.
Potato penis ship?
No. Fucking royalty. Hierarchy. You look at England. You have the Queen, which is a figurehead, which is something that still exists and still is well respected, right? And they do have a fair bit to a monicum of power. And it is something that is definitely, like, you don't elect a queen, you don't elect a prince. It is a family thing, right? But at the same time, you still have a prime minister of England, and you have a government there. So it is very possible that there could be an amalgamation, or at the very least, they could try to set up a way for Kim Jong-un to still be Grand Poobah King, but also have an actual government system that is elected into power. Whether or not that election or that power will be legitimate or will be corrupt is completely and utterly up in the air. But I firmly believe that, and like I said, it's not going to be real quick, but at some point in time, it will no longer be North Korea, South Korea, like Berlin. It'll just be one. And David Hasselhoff will be there in a fucking rowboat singing his silly German songs.
99 von Luftballon.
Berlin.
Wait a minute. Does that mean one of the ladies had breast cancer?
What?
Baywatch, boobs, red balloons, bouncing. 99 von Luftballons. 99 red balloons.
I think Pamela Anderson only counts as one because they're both enhanced. Anyway.
There we go. That's the odd. There's the odd tit out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, could that be the episode name? That's one odd tit out or something like that. The odd tit out. I think something to do with the odd tit out.
We would get scratched for that. Thank you.
Fair.
The Berlin Wall. Yeah, okay. So East and West Berlin. We now have North and South Korea. I think at one point in time, there will just be Korea.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And with the approaching democracy, and that's kind of the same thing that happened with the East and West. There was communism before that, and then democracy.
Yes. Yes.
And then down came the wall, and out came the musicians to profit from it.
Exactly.
Were you there when the towers fell? I wasn't, but I am now.
Do we have anything
Give
left?
me your money. Oh, I got lots left.
Well, we can probably hit one more.
Perfect. I got one for you.
Cool.
Now, what is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's saying when he was wrestling?
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Thank you. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Okay.
Now, apparently, and I've looked this up, I've listened to the videos, it's if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Now, this is
okay.
This is the conspiracy theory about a Mandela effect, and all I saw was the headline: Mandela effect. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" No, I remember that being, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" Now, maybe he changed it at some point, which is possible, but I'm looking at comments from people here, and people are saying, "What the fuck is wrong with you? It's always been if you smell what The Rock is cooking."
Okay, I'm looking into it now, and it's not always been in what if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Actually, it started off as do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Really?
Yes, but I stand corrected as well. Not once has it ever been, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? At least not officially. It's been, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? And if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Interesting.
Anyway.
So, if nothing else, though, other people are saying it's always been if you smell, but maybe they just weren't around for when it was the do you smell.
Yeah. Okay.
But, okay, so then that begs the question, then, where did the can you smell come from? Because I do remember it also being do you smell, but I also remember hearing can you smell. But I don't ever remember hearing if you smell.
Okay. It's okay.
It's one of those ones where it's like I've just I've read so many articles about it where I'm starting to go, maybe there is something here, because there have been things that come up and I'm just like, wait, no, I remember that being something else. Maybe it is just faulty memory, and granted, I have my reasons for why I might have a faulty memory.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's because of the hat.
Absolutely, it keeps all my thoughts in there and just rebounds them right back in.
Exactly.
It's dangerous. It's like a rebrew. If you don't let the fart out and you hold on to it and it stays in there, it's even worse when it comes out the next time.
Fuck? A rebrew? Oh, what the hell? That is very true. Menard said it could have been a slip of the tongue that you heard once and it stayed there. What is this?
Ooh, like the whole Luke, I am your father. Of course, if you just said, no, I am your father, you'd have no fucking context for what anyone's saying. But if you go, Luke, I am your father, you immediately know what.
How is that a slip of the tongue?
What's what and the what now? Oh, like someone else is like saying it, but they said, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? And it just stuck in my head.
He never said, Luke, I am your father. He said, no, I am your father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But if you say it without context, then it's like, well, no, you're not my fucking daddy.
Well, it's the same thing with the phrase "beam me up, Scotty," which is something that during the original series, Captain Kirk never said.
Never said, Scotty, beam us up.
Exactly. What is this? University of Texas to treat masculinity as mental health issue.
Well, I am really looking forward to Idiocracy 2, the search for more stupid.
You know what? Okay, so I am not afraid to silence or mute or even just remove people from my Facebook feed. And there's this article that keeps coming up. I call it article. It's a very, very fucking loose term. But it says that if you are bothered by the sound of someone eating, then that is a mental disorder. Fuck you, it is. What it is it's a goddamn crime that I'm not able to punch that person in the face if they can't chew with their mouth closed like a human being.
But sometimes I've found even this has happened to me, and I've it's actually only happened with one person,
Okay.
where they were just chewing and their mouth was closed, but they just chewed so loudly, and for some reason it was just like breaking my concentration. I could not fucking, all I could hear is
Jesus.
I'm just like gonna fucking fold up this laptop the wrong way and smash it.
Even
Chew on that.
Even Menard is saying, "Oh, for fuck's sakes, masculinity is a mental health issue." Really? No, it's not. It really isn't.
The viewpoints on it is an issue.
Just a bit. No, there are legitimate mental issues out there, but this is all just fucking. For me, this just sounds like trolling. It sounds like more of the, oh fuck. I just realized that this leads into something I wanted to bring up. Okay, so this just leads into like all this stuff of like masculinity is a mental health issue, and listening or being annoyed by someone chewing is a mental health issue. And man, if one half
sleeping on your right side is a mental issue.
Yeah, and if one half the claimed mental issues were legitimate, then I'm in a lot of trouble. If one half of the mental issues out there were legitimate, then I would be on medical leave and be kicking back and receiving treatment for God knows what. But something that has popped up in recent times, something that's popped up in my recent times is incel. What is incel?
Involuntary celibacy.
Quote, "You're a loser." Jesus Christ. How is this a legitimate problem, something to be labeled, and also something that makes someone go absolutely batshit fucking crazy and mow down people for? This is one of the things that the jackass from Toronto claims to have been, and was primarily his motivation for grabbing a van and mowing down people in Toronto. Because he couldn't get laid?
I think that was just the method that he chose. That was how he wanted to justify it. I think the issue was underlying, and that's what the problem is. That's why a lot of these people are doing what they're doing. It's less about what they're doing. I mean, not to take away from the people who have lost their lives in that, but what you laughing at?
Keep going. Keep going. No, I'll bring it up.
Train wrecked.
Okay. Anyway, his motivation and also his justification, and not a proper way for people to lose their lives, but
yeah. Anyways, it really sucks that fucking buddy that chose to go and mow down a whole bunch of people, and that people are, and that he claimed to use the way that he's going. And I mean, granted, he's alive, which, I mean, fucking kudos to the cop for not shooting. Fucking wow.
Yeah.
That guy deserves a medal.
Yeah, I bet you he gets laid. Elliot Rogers.
Yes, Elliot Rogers, another one. He was he did the same thing. I remember watching his fucking video, and damn, he was an entitled little shit.
I got that. I didn't even have to watch the video. This guy in Toronto had serious issues. He was kicked out of basic training. That's true. He was kicked out of basic training. They asked him to leave. Kicked out and asked to leave after 4 days of basic training. That is how. Okay, if he was kicked out for basic training, then I'm willing to bet that he was complaining a little too much, because you have to go through a whole bunch of tests, as well as psychological tests and physicality tests, before you even get into basic training. So the fact that after 4 or 5 days that this jackass in Toronto was kicked out makes me believe that he was complaining a shit ton. Maybe he was asked to leave. We'll never really know. But this Elliot Rogers, I haven't watched his video. Dark Avenger Gaming did send me the link to his re-uploaded video, and I don't have to watch it. I will probably watch it after I have a couple of beers. Heart rate be damned. And
I'm not one to talk.
Yeah, and just see what it was all about. But this incel bullshit is ridiculous. You don't have to watch it. Thank you. This incel bullshit is ridiculous, okay? Elliot Rogers killed himself because he was 19 years old and he believed that women should be fawning over him, and how dare... Oh, what is he, 22? How dare he be a virgin at the age of 22 and not have his pick of the litter? Fuck you. This jackass in Toronto... Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah.
This jackass in Toronto who mowed down a bunch of people, and yeah, that cop who did not pull the trigger but instead subdued and then handcuffed the jackass, you know he gets it off the chain. But to claim that he did this, among other things, because he is involuntarily celibate, at what age? No. If you are involuntarily celibate and you are into your... I'll give you the benefit of the... I'll give you some breathing room. If you are involuntarily celibate, meaning that no woman wants to hang up... Getting all worked up here. No woman wants to hook up with you, and you are in your mid-30s, maybe there's a problem. Maybe there is an issue. Maybe there's something that is just turning women off so much, so grotesquely, that there is an issue. But the way I see it... What is this? I only watched part of the story. I only watched it because it was part of the story I was watching. Fuck you to that little shithead. No one owes anyone shit. Amen. I agree. The chat has just been predominantly against these jackasses. So, here's the thing. You're applying for a job. You're applying for your dream job. You want to be a space neurosurgeon. It's a thing, I guess. Right? So if you go to apply to this office that has the position open for a space neurosurgeon, and you walk in there and say, I want to be a space neurosurgeon. They look at you and go, what are your qualifications? And you go, none. I just want to be a neurospace surgeon or a space neurosurgeon. You're not going to get the job. Okay?
No.
I'm leading to a point. So, what do? Do you go home and go, fuck, I should be a space neurosurgeon because I want to be a space neurosurgeon, and these people don't know what they're missing because I should be a space neurosurgeon? No. You do that, you achieve nothing but angst and anxiety and hate and despair and depression because you're not doing anything to actually become a space neurosurgeon. If you go train and you change and you learn and you adjust and you educate yourself to become a space neurosurgeon, then maybe, it's not fucking guaranteed, but maybe you can go back to that office at some point in time and go, I would like to be a space neurosurgeon, and this is why. And you show them your training, and you show them your credentials, and you show them your passion and your fortitude, and the fact that you never gave up, then maybe you can be a space neurosurgeon. You want to ask out a beautiful woman, and she says no, it's not her fucking fault.
No, this fucking floors me, right? I mean, I don't, not to toot my own horn, I don't get rejected often. But when I do, this sounds like a most interesting man in the world thing. I don't get rejected often, but when I do, I'm a gentleman about it.
Yes.
But no, but legitimately, it's like, hey, no problem. All right, well, you have yourself a good night, and you take care.
I don't get rejected
Like,
often, but when I do, I drink myself into a stupor and cry in the bathroom. Menard.
that's 5 minutes later.
Yes, exactly. Menard 40 says, I've been harassed so many times by guys like these, it's not even funny. It's like, dude, change your attitude and maybe you will get the girl. Exactly. If you learn and educate yourself. And I've been rejected a fair share of times. I didn't want to go off and kill a bunch of people because of it. Exactly.
Right. And it's this state of entitlement and this belief of what you need to have to be successful.
Yes.
The combination of those two things, that's what's driving people to do a lot of this, I think, personally.
Yes.
The fact that they got a participation medal and then for everything, and then they got into the real world and realized you don't get a fucking participation medal just for fucking showing up.
Nope.
You have to actually do your fucking job. You have to get a job.
Yeah.
If your fucking heat breaks, you gotta call your fucking landlord. You don't call mommy and daddy to call your fucking landlord for you. You call them yourself.
Exactly. I've been rejected by guys and never went batshit crazy. You know what? I was the, I won't say cocky, but I was the one back in high school that understood that no meant no, and no didn't necessarily mean that it was a slight against me. I had absolutely no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
I had no problem whatsoever, at the very least, talking to some of the most attractive girls back in high school. Because, yes, I was nervous, and yes, I was scared, and yes, I was very fucking shaky. But at the end of the day, I still realized that they're just human just like me. And quick funny story, weird story. I asked out a very attractive young girl back in high school when I was in the same grade as her, and she broke down in tears. And I thought, I'm fucking devastated. I'm like, what? I showered, I swear. But she was devastated, and finally she stopped crying to a point, then gave me a giant ass hug, and then literally kissed me right on the lips right there. I'm like, holy shit, this is going way better than I expected. And she finally let me know that she was in grade 12. I was in grade 12. I was the first person to ever ask her out.
Damn.
She thought something was wrong with her.
Well, shit. See, therein lies part of the problem of being an attractive person. I don't personally really understand this problem, but...
He's humble, ladies. He's humble.
I don't understand what it is to be so attractive that people are intimidated to talk to you.
Yes. That is a fucking life fact, right there. Fortunately, I get talked to all the time. Bitter Old Coons Gaming says he doesn't get it. He avoids sex as a rule now. These guys aren't missing much. Absolutely true. My whole point with the job interview thing was the fact that if you want to get the legitimate attention of so and so, I don't want to use anyone specific because I'd rather not just jump that bridge. But if you want to get the attention of so and so, a beautiful young woman, Betty Page. There's a great example.
Not quite so young anymore, but young at the time.
She's dead. Fine. So, you want to get the attention of Betty Page, then do something or engage in a conversation, or at the very least, do a little bit of, just trial and error. Talk to her. Invite her out for coffee. Get to know her better. Right?
Actually ask some questions, but not creepy questions like, where do you live? What's your phone number? What time do you go to have a shower?
Exactly. Yeah.
These are not questions you should ask for an introduction.
Your furniture looks great from the lawn. You smell different when you're awake. You don't say shit like that. Right?
You smell different when you're awake.
I knew that would get you.
If someone ever said that to me, that might be the creepiest thing I've ever heard. Motherfucker.
There's another great example of things not to say from Menard. How big are your boobs? Most girls I've ended up dating I was friends with first. Another great example. Get to know someone. Don't just expect women to throw their panties at you. So this whole incel shit, this BS. Involuntary celibate? No. It's voluntary. You're just not fucking smart enough or wise enough to realize that you're the one stepping in your own way. You're the one preventing yourself from actually getting anywhere.
100%. 100%.
Jesus Christ. Oh, when the news story came out about this guy from Toronto and then the word incel came up and I started looking through it like, how is this legitimate?
Oh, I'm sure that argument has been used as a means to kill many a woman over the years.
It's
bitch wouldn't sleep with me. Whoosh.
You know, and this is not the standard by any means. Oh wow. Laughing is good for my blood pressure. I'm okay. Dark Avenger Gaming says, so how are you? What's your name? How big is blank? How big is blank are your blank? Where do you live? How much do you make? What's your debit card number? Do you like bananas?
Gotta keep your potassium levels up.
I'm gonna get a t-shirt. It's gonna say, you smell different when you're awake.
You might get less comments. Or you might get more.
Anyway. This incel bullshit is bullshit. Hi, Bottle Cat, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a terrible excuse, honestly, and I feel it is an excuse. It's what they've used as the means of justifying taking out their anger on people.
Take out your anger at the gym.
I think that had they had a different motive, or not a different motive, but a different means, they still would have carried out the same actions. Like, let's say they were getting some. The person who's willing to do this is someone who's already got something not going quite right upstairs. So all it took was I would say a trigger in most cases, to just activate what was already going to happen. And then they used whatever means to justify it, be it bullying or not getting any. Although I understand the going on a rampage for being bullied a lot more than I understand the going on the rampage for not getting any.
Not to justify it, I agree.
Not to justify any of it. It's still wrong. It's entirely the wrong way to react to things. Yeah. You don't go around fucking killing people.
and another. Go ahead. I
was gonna say, if you absolutely have to, tranquilize them and scare them a little bit. Don't kill them.
Tranquilize who?
If you're gonna go kill random people, then just tranquilize random people. Don't. I'm kidding.
What the fuck, man?
I'm sorry.
That is not an answer.
I'm absolutely kidding. Do not do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, does this rag smell like chloroform? Dark Avenger Gaming.
What would fuck me up is someone would say no, and I'd go to check it, be like, huh? Oh, fuck.
Oh, not again. Dark Avenger Gaming. Rape makes me mad enough to want to hurt a person. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's another thing that could potentially stem from this whole incel thing, is the fact that, okay, so they're not going to mow down people with a van, or they're not going to shoot up a club with a gun. Instead, they're going to try to go and take what they want by force. I didn't read the rest. What rest was there?
There's no rest for the wicked, that's for damn sure. I only sleep 2 hours a night.
I said hurt a person, the rapiest mostly. Yes, exactly. Anyway, so incel is not a thing. It is certainly not something to brag about, nor is it a badge to hold. And quite frankly, if you believe that you're involuntary celibate, it's not anyone else's fault. It's fucking your fault.
As are 99% of the problems out there. Seriously, 99% of the problems that I face are my own doing. Whether it have been an immediate or a delayed effect, it is, for the most part, been all my doing.
I agree and concur. Majority of the problems in my life, except for my high blood pressure, have been my fault. It is my fault that it took me this long to get to the position I'm in radio broadcasting. It was my fault that it took me as long as it did to get a Class 1 license so I can drive big truck. It's my fault that I don't know as much about guitars as I do now because I started late. It is my fault that I am currently in my dating situation and also was in the dating situation I was in last year. That's a fucking episode and a half. And it's my fault because I put myself in that situation and I allowed it to get to the point where it was bad. By the way, welcome to the High Blood Pressure Club. Thank you, Menard.
At least we've been balancing it out. That's what I'm all about, right? Raising people's blood pressure, then making them laugh to calm down and relax. All about balance.
It's supposed to, but according to these numbers, it's not.
That's because we only talk once a week.
Oh, so we should change that then. Is that the deal?
Right? I am what will keep the doctor away.
I think you have other means of doing that. I've seen your gun certification card.
Okay. Once upon a time, I was working at the Cambridge Toyota factory plant, and I had I just finished Police Foundation, so every Wednesday you had to go in all dressed up in a suit and everything. So going into this job, I was clean, prim, and proper, and my badge reflected that. My car, the photo ID reflected that in my face. I was clean cut, clean shaven, the whole works. Styled hair,
sexy,
and sexy. I go to the Cambridge or to the Woodstock plant, and I'm there for 3 months, and I finally get my photo ID, and I get it, and I fucking look at it, and I show it to the other guards that I'm with, and one guard remarks, "Looks like that guy raped that guy." And I swear to God, it did. The one, after 3 months of being with those assholes, looked like he belonged in fucking prison or just came out of prison.
Oh, God.
And every photo since then, like, my youthfulness was gone.
Yeah.
In 3 months.
What happened to our dear innocent little Eli? He grew the fuck up.
That bitch is gone.
That
Buried
bitch
him
is
out
gone.
back.
Okay. Yeah, hour and a half. Got to wrap it up.
Okay, I got one last thing to say. Linux, Ubuntu, 18.04. This is the operating system you've been waiting for. I did not mean to make that rhyme. I apologize.
You're natural at marketing.
It is fucking amazing. It's just unbelievable. I can't rave about this enough. Fucking, I almost want to get rid of Windows 10 on the other computer now and put Windows 18 or Ubuntu 18 on this. It is so good. I have had my parents using Ubuntu since version 16.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's nice.
My parents are 60 years old. Thereabouts.
But does it game?
Fuck yeah, I can run Steam on that. And in fact, there's actually Linux-only games for Steam. But there's also a lot of ports so that you can run it on there too. But yeah, you got your whole Steam there that you can run and play. So.
Well, got a question from Bitter Old Goons Gaming. Does it game? Sea of Thieves or Go Fuck Your Mother? He doesn't own
Possibly.
Sea of Thieves. Not yet.
No. Probably not for a while. I'm still playing catch up. Fucking winter cost me $4,500 fucking bucks.
Oh, dude. On Xbox One, the Xbox Game Pass, they're currently doing a promotion right now where you can get a trial month for $1. And Sea of Thieves comes with that trial pass or that Game Pass.
And then I can just play it whenever.
Yeah. Okay. So the Game Pass gives you access to the entire library as long as you continue to have that Game Pass. And some of them, like there's a whole library of retro games, and there's a whole library of B-level games, and then there's some gems in there, like the complete version of Sea of Thieves. You don't necessarily own the game, you're just renting the opportunity to play the game in full.
I gotcha.
So at right now, I just checked my Xbox, and they're doing a promotion where you can try, like there's no contract, you don't have to sign in for anything like that. You can actually just do it for the $1 purchase for 1 month of the Game Pass, and then the entire Game Pass library is open to you, including Sea of Thieves. It's $1. And like, if anything, it's a fucking dollar for 1 month's worth of games that would probably cost you well into the thousands.
Let me put it to you this way. I generally have one meal a day because I can't afford more.
So you're saying I should buy it for you?
I'm saying that I am very, very frugal right now because I'm trying to play catch up because fucking all of my savings were destroyed by winter.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, starting tomorrow, there's a Patreon for WTF Help Eli eat!
I honestly, this has pretty much been the way that I've lived for a long time, so I'm okay with really eating once a day. It's more the fact that I still have bills that need to be paid.
God damn it.
But I'm being a responsible adult.
You are.
I'm also being a responsible parent,
You are an
and
incredible parent.
I've never once missed a payment for my daughter. She is the one payment that will always be made.
You are an incredible parent. There's no argument there. Okay.
I love that little girl. She's so sweet.
Sir, wrap it up.
All right. So you've been listening to an episode of What the Fuck Are They Talking About podcast, WTFATTA. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, and Instagram under the handle WTFATTA. You can find us on Facebook, the WTFATTA podcast, and you can also go to the website, WTFATTA.blogspot.com, to find more information about the cast, crew, and other information about the episodes and such.
They're watching it, not just listening to it.
If you're on YouTube and Twitch, then yes, you're watching it.
Okay, I'm JD the Media Jack. You can follow me all over social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer. This has been episode 423 of the Flipside Radio Show. What do we call it?
See, and I tried to write it down earlier, and then I got distracted about what I was going to make for the suggestion.
Korea, Incel, AI going through the Vatican as well. We talked about the DNA and how that failed to find the proper killer. Oh yeah, and something about the size of breasts. Oh, and my high blood pressure.
And The Rock.
And The Rock.
Mandela. Nah.
Yeah.
Leave that out. Okay, so definitely something about incel.
You think so?
And it just, I don't know why, but I feel like it should be combined with the Vatican. Something to do with the Vatican and incel.
The Vatican and incel. Oh.
Oh no! Oh!
What? What?
This is gonna be bad.
What?
In celebrate! Come on!
What the fuck?
Do.
I think you just wanted to sing the song.
I am going straight to hell. Even Hitler's gonna be like, "You are very bad. That is a bad man going down there."
What did you come back to? You came back to Eli singing. Let's go with. Well, I like. Yeah, I'm all for the idea of going with incel. This is a tough one. It's not usually this difficult. Incel.
Mm-hmm.
Had to put the son to sleep. Came by. Eli is friends with Hitler. Never. Eli's never friends with Hitler. Um,
He's my bitch.
yeah.
I feed that motherfucker pine cones. Pine cones? Pineapples.
Pineapples.
That's what it was. Pineapples.
Yes.
The wrong way.
Yes. Sleeper incel?
Ooh. Why does that? Yeah, I like it. Sleeper incel.
How
Right?
about
Because
the
the sleeper cell.
How about the North Korean sleeper incel? Yeah. The Vatican sleeper incel.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, the Vatican sleeper
The
incel.
Vatican. Hold on, Vatican. I'm spelling it wrong. All right,
Fucking
it's
hell.
Vatican sleeper incel. It is episode 423 of the Flipside and episode 22 of WTF
Doritos.
is the Vatican sleeper incel. Eli, thanks so much.
Cheers.